A pneumatic schematic looks like a wall of alien boxes. Arrows inside them, little triangles on the ends, numbers scattered around the ports. The first time you open one, it is genuinely intimidating. But here's the good news. It is not random. Every symbol on that drawing follows one standard, ISO 1219, and the rules are simple once someone walks you through them. In this video, I will show you how to read a pneumatic schematic the way a tech on the floor actually does. The valve symbol, the port numbers, the actuator ends, the cylinder, and then we trace a full circuit. Let us start with the symbol you will see most. Quick note before we dig in. This is from PLC Simulator, where you can practice wiring and control logic free right in your browser. No install, no hardware. The link is in the description. Click the link in the description to try it free. Now, back to the drawing. The heart of almost every pneumatic schematic is the directional control valve, and its symbol is the part that scares people. So let us decode it. Each box is one position the valve can be in, one state. A valve drawn with 2 boxes is a 2-position valve. 3 boxes is a 3-position valve. Simple as that. Now look inside each box. The arrows and lines show the flow paths. They tell you where air can travel when the valve sits in that state. An arrow means air flows that way. A blocked line, a little t, means that path is shut. Then the ports. The connections are labeled with numbers around the valve. Port 1, sometimes marked P, is your supply. Ports 2 and 4 are the outputs that go to the actuator. Ports 3 and 5 are the exhausts, where air vents out. Learn those 4 things and the box stops being alien. That port and box count is also where the notation comes from. You will hear valves called 5-2 or 3-2. The first number is how many ports. The second is how many positions. So a 5-2 valve has 5 ports and 2 positions, the workhorse for driving a double-acting cylinder. A 3-2 has 3 ports and 2 positions, common for single-acting cylinders and for simple on-off air. Read the slash as ports over positions, and the name tells you the picture before you even see it. The valve mechanism itself, how the spool slides to connect those ports, is in my separate spool valve video, link below. Now the ends of the valve box. These little symbols tell you how the valve gets shifted and how it returns. This is the part most beginners skip, and it is where half the information lives. A diagonal line with a coil on it is a solenoid. An electrical signal shifts the valve. A small square box on the end is a pilot. Air pressure shifts it. A zigzag spring symbol is a spring return, which pushes the valve back to its rest position. And a lever, a push button, or a foot pedal is a manual operator. So read both ends. One end tells you what shifts the valve. The other usually tells you what returns it. Next, the actuator of the valve is driving, usually a cylinder. A single-acting cylinder is drawn with one air port and a spring inside. Air extends it, the spring returns it. A double-acting cylinder has a port at each end and is driven both ways by air. Then the support symbols. There is the supply line and the exhausts venting to atmosphere. And there is the FRL, that is a combination block, a filter, a regulator, and a lubricator. It conditions the air before it ever reaches the valve. You will also see flow control valves. They are drawn as an adjustable arrow, often paired with a check valve. They throttle the cylinder speed in one direction. Spot those, and you know where the speed is being tuned. Now let us put it together and read a simple circuit end to end. Air comes in through the FRL, conditioned and set to pressure. It reaches port 1 of 5-2 valve. At rest, the spring holds the valve, so air goes to the rod end and the cylinder sits retracted. Then the PLC fires its output. The solenoid energizes. The spool shifts. Now supply routes to the cap end instead, and the other side opens to exhaust. The cylinder extends. Drop the output, the spring shifts it back, and it retracts. That is the whole story the schematic was telling you. And it is the exact motion I cover in the pneumatic actuator video, link below. So here's what to walk away with. A pneumatic schematic is just ISO symbols, and they follow rules. Boxes are positions. Arrows inside are flow paths. Numbers are ports, supply, outputs, exhausts. The ends tell you what shifts and returns a valve, and tracing it is just following the air. Get that? And every valve drawing on the floor stops being a mystery. Now, go make it concrete. If you want to practice wiring and control logic hands-on, click the link in the description to start free at plcsimulationsoftware.com. No hardware, no install. Subscribe. New video every Tuesday. See you in the next one.